You ever find yourself in a situation where you're just desperate to fix a problem, and you do something so crazy, so out of the ordinary, that even you can't believe it afterward? Well, that's exactly how this story begins. With a girl who had no other choice but to rent a boyfriend for Christmas. Yeah, you heard that right. Rent a boyfriend for $800 just to bring home for the holidays. Meet Mia. She's what you'd call a regular girl. Struggling, working hard, but always feeling like life is just a little bit out of reach. With Christmas around the corner, her family was buzzing with excitement. Everyone talking about who's bringing whom, whose boyfriend or girlfriend would be there. And Mia, she didn't have anyone. No boyfriend to bring home. No one to show off to her cousins. No one to hold her hand by the Christmas tree. Mia's family isn't rich. Far from it. Money's always been tight. But Christmas was the one time of year everyone pretended everything was perfect. Her parents had saved up a little for gifts, and her younger siblings were bouncing around, excited to open presents and have a feast. Mia wanted to make them proud. She wanted to bring some joy to the dinner table, especially for her little brother, who always wished for a cool sister's boyfriend. But the truth was, Mia's love life was non-existent. No dates, no special someone. And with so many family eyes on her, asking questions, she started to feel the pressure. That's when she found out about a website, a service where you could rent a boyfriend. Sounds weird, right? But desperate times call for desperate measures. The guy she chose, his name was Lucas. Tall, handsome, charming. Everything Mia thought would impress her family. The price? $800 for the weekend. It felt like a lot of money for someone who barely made enough for rent. But she told herself it was an investment. A one-time thing to save her from embarrassment and loneliness. Lucas showed up right on time, wearing a suit that looked like it cost more than Mia's monthly paycheck. From the moment he walked in, her family was impressed. He smiled. He was polite. He laughed at the right moments. Mia felt a mix of relief and anxiety. Relief that maybe this would work, but anxiety because this was a pretend boyfriend. A performance she had to keep up all night. What Mia didn't know was that Lucas wasn't just some hired actor. Beneath that charming smile and tailored suit, he was hiding a secret that would change everything. You see, Lucas was actually a billionaire CEO. Yep, the kind of guy you'd see on magazine covers, the headlines of business news. Someone who owned companies, made deals worth millions, and lived a life so different from Mia's. And he had his own reasons for agreeing to be a rented boyfriend that Christmas. As the night went on, Mia's family kept praising Lucas. Her mom whispered to her, "You did good this time, honey." Her little brother couldn't stop staring, hoping maybe Lucas would stay forever. But for Mia, the night was filled with more questions than answers. Who was Lucas really? Why was he here with her? And what was going to happen when the rental period was over? Just when Mia started to believe maybe this Christmas could be different, that maybe she could have something to hold on to besides her hopes, something unexpected happened. Lucas received a phone call that changed the whole atmosphere. His face shifted from friendly to serious in an instant, and Mia felt like she was suddenly caught in a world far bigger than her own. She was about to find out that Lucas's life was way more complicated than just being her rented boyfriend. There were secrets, power struggles, and decisions that could affect not only Lucas, but everyone around him, including Mia. So, what happens next? How does a poor girl who rented a boyfriend for $800 end up tangled with a billionaire CEO? And what does Christmas really have in store for them both? You don't want to miss what happens after this, because things are about to get a lot more interesting than a simple rented romance. Stay tuned, because this story is just beginning. Absolutely. Here's the continuation of your story, diving deeper into the characters, background and conflicts, with rising suspense, written in a natural human tone as requested. After Lucas took that mysterious phone call, the whole room seemed to change. The easy laughter and light chatter that had filled the air just minutes before was replaced by a quiet tension that Mia couldn't quite understand. Lucas excused himself, leaving Mia standing awkwardly by the Christmas tree, her heart pounding with a strange mix of curiosity and worry. What was going on? Why did he look so serious all of a sudden? Mia's mind raced, but she kept her smile on, hoping her family wouldn't notice. Yet, as she glanced around, she saw her parents exchanging worried looks, and even her little brother's excited grin had faded. Something big was happening, something Mia wasn't part of, but it was about to pull her right in. Lucas returned after a few minutes, his expression softer, but still distant. He apologized for the interruption and promised everything was fine. But Mia wasn't convinced. She wanted to ask more, but the moment wasn't right. Her family needed her, and this rented boyfriend act had to go on. Later that night, after everyone had gone to bed, Mia sat in her small room, staring at the expensive watch Lucas had accidentally left on the table. It was unlike anything she'd ever seen. She thought about how different his world must be from hers. A billionaire CEO, someone who made decisions that could affect thousands of people. And here she was, a girl barely scraping by, who paid $800 just for him to pretend to be her boyfriend for one weekend. That's when Mia realized there was more to Lucas than just this holiday charade. She wondered what kind of life he led, what pressures he faced, and why he agreed to this arrangement in the first place. Could it be just a job to him? Or was there something else, something personal she didn't yet understand? Meanwhile, Lucas was back in his sleek downtown office the next day, surrounded by suits and screens showing graphs, numbers, and urgent messages. The phone call from the night before was from his company's board of directors. There was trouble. A major project was failing. Investors were losing confidence. And if things didn't turn around quickly, the entire company could collapse. Lucas, despite being young, had earned his place as CEO through sheer grit and intelligence. But this crisis was the biggest test of his career. The pressure was crushing, and every decision felt like a gamble with thousands of lives on the line. Back home, Mia's phone buzzed. It was a message from Lucas. A simple, "Thank you for last night. I hope we can talk more soon." She stared at it, confused and a little hopeful. Why was he reaching out? Was he just being polite? Or was there something real underneath the surface of their rented relationship? As the days went by, Mia found herself thinking about Lucas more and more. She tried to focus on her own struggles, the endless shifts. At her part-time job, the bills piling up, the constant worry about making ends meet. But Lucas's image kept creeping into her thoughts. The tall, confident man who could walk into any room and command respect, yet somehow showed kindness and understanding to her, a girl he barely knew. One afternoon, Mia's best friend Jenny noticed how distracted Mia had become. "Who's the guy?" Jenny asked, half teasing, half curious. Mia hesitated, then told her the story. How she rented a boyfriend just to save face at Christmas. How the whole thing felt like a joke. And how now she didn't know what to think because Lucas was more than she expected. Jenny laughed, but also gave Mia a serious look. "You're getting yourself into something complicated. Billionaire CEOs don't just rent themselves out for fun." That was the truth Mia was starting to feel, deep down. There was a whole world Lucas belonged to, A world of power, secrets, and maybe danger. And somehow, she was stepping into it, whether she wanted to or not. One evening, as Mia was closing up at work, her phone rang. It was Lucas again. This time, he wasn't asking for small talk or thank yous. He invited her to meet him. Not as a rented boyfriend and fake girlfriend, but just as herself. He wanted to talk, to explain things. Mia's heart skipped a beat. Part of her wanted to say no. She was scared. What if this was a mistake? What if she got hurt? But another part, the part that had spent so long feeling invisible and powerless, wanted to say yes. She wanted to believe that maybe this wasn't just a business deal. Maybe there was something real in it for her. When they finally met, Lucas was different. The CEO was still there, sharp, confident, commanding. But there was also a man who seemed burdened by responsibilities far heavier than Mia's problems. He told her about the company crisis, about how he'd been using the rented boyfriend gig as a way to escape the constant scrutiny, to feel something normal, something real, even if just for a moment. He didn't expect to meet someone like Mia. Someone genuine, kind, and unafraid to call him out on his mistakes. Mia realized that behind the billionaire facade was a person just as lost and searching for connection as she was. But just as things were starting to feel hopeful, the story took a sharp turn. Rumors started swirling in the business world. Someone was plotting to take Lucas down, to steal his company from under him. And now, Mia wasn't just a girl who rented a boyfriend. She was caught in a web of power plays, secrets, and danger that neither of them could ignore. Would Mia be strong enough to stand by Lucas? Could she protect herself from the storm that was coming? Or would this Christmas, which started with a simple rented boyfriend, turn into something far more complicated and far more dangerous than either of them ever imagined? The answers are coming, but for now, all Mia can do is hold on tight and hope that the truth, and maybe love, will find a way through the chaos. Mia never imagined that a simple plan to rent a boyfriend for Christmas would lead her into a world far beyond anything she'd ever known. But as the days went on, the stakes only grew higher. Lucas's company was not just on the brink of collapse. Someone was actively working against him, spreading lies, sabotaging deals, and threatening to destroy everything he had built. One evening, Lucas invited Mia to his office again. This time, the atmosphere was tense, and he looked exhausted but determined. "Mia, I need your help," he said quietly. "There's a leak in the company. Someone close is betraying us. I don't know who to trust anymore." Mia's heart pounded. She had never been involved in anything like this before, but she could see the vulnerability behind Lucas's confident exterior, and she knew she couldn't walk away now. "What can I do?" she asked. Lucas explained how the betrayal threatened not only the company, but also his family's legacy and his employees' futures. He needed someone outside the business world to spot what insiders couldn't, and that someone was Mia. Over the next few days, Mia found herself pulled deeper into Lucas's life, attending meetings, deciphering clues, and even confronting people she never expected to. The poor girl, who once rented a boyfriend, was now standing side by side with a billionaire CEO, fighting to save everything. As they worked together, Mia and Lucas grew closer. The fake relationship had blurred lines, but now something real was forming. A connection built on trust, respect, and shared battles. The climax came unexpectedly during a major company event, just when Lucas was about to announce a new project that could turn everything around. The betrayer was exposed. It was someone Lucas had trusted deeply, a partner motivated by jealousy and greed. The revelation shocked everyone, But Mia's sharp instincts had uncovered the truth in time. Lucas addressed the crowd with renewed confidence, praising Mia's courage and insight. The project was saved, and so was the company's future. In the aftermath, Mia and Lucas didn't need the rented boyfriend act anymore. Their story, born out of necessity and pretense, had become something real and hopeful. Mia realized that, no matter where you start, what matters most is the courage to step into new worlds and fight for what you believe in. As they looked out over the city lights that night, Lucas squeezed her hand gently and said, "You came into my life like a Christmas miracle." Mia smiled, knowing this Christmas had changed her life forever. Not because of wealth or status, but because sometimes the most unexpected stories lead to the most unforgettable journeys. And that's the story of how a poor girl's $800 rental turned into a billionaire CEO's true love. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories like this. What would you do if you were in Mia's shoes? Let me know in the comments below.